we're a manufacturer, so we basically manufacture herbicide applicators, and we've done such for 30 odd years. One of the things we looked at, we're really good at making applicators. What we looked at is what's out there in the herbicide market that's addressing, I guess, the future of weed spraying, and particularly in urban and public areas where it's a concern. Sustainable solutions for urban weed management is a term that I've heard over and over again probably for about the last 5 years, and it took us a while to understand what that actually meant and then what we needed to do to actually address that issue. So across Australia, local councils are looking, they all have a sustainability budget, and they're looking for options to deal with weed management in public and community areas. The Sunshine Coast Council Environmental and Livability Strategy says they're looking to maintain and nurture our natural environment, create livable spaces and places to live, work and play, live up to the expectations of future generations. That's a big ask. So what you're looking at doing is you're trying to make any of those spaces as livable as possible and to make them as safe as possible. So synthetic chemicals have hit the the newspapers for different reasons. The science I don't think is fully out there as yet, but there's a lot of public anxiety about the use of them in public areas. And one of the other things is that synthetic chemicals are actually becoming less helpful, or they're not killing as many weeds as they used to. So glyphosate is there's lots of weeds that are glyphosate resistant as well as other synthetic herbicides. So what we did was we met an agronomist who had an organic product. We worked with him on what it did, and we created a new formulation, if you like, to work with our products. And on what I said before, Australia has the second highest number of herbicide-resistant weeds in the world, sitting just behind the US. So it's not just a public anxiety problem, it's actually an efficacy issue as well. So we believe, or we know, we can provide a solution that's, when used in targeted areas, because it's not a magic bullet to use everywhere, as part of a program that will give you the results. And the interesting thing to know is that bioweed will kill the weed, but will also kill the seeds in the seed bed. So bioweed's active ingredient is pine oil. Now, if anyone's ever been in a pine forest, have you ever seen a weed around a pine tree? You haven't. It's the world's best natural killer of weeds. It's very fast acting. It's a contact herbicide, and what that means is that it's not systemic. The poison doesn't travel down through the stem and then affect the soil with it. What it does is it takes the waxy surface off the leaf of the weed, it completely desiccates it or dehydrates it, and it kills it dead. As the seeds drop, the pine oil then actually kills the seeds in the ground as well. So what you're doing is you're eradicating the weed initially, but then you're eradicating the seed bed without leaving any residuals in the soil at all. So safe for children, safe for animals. If you spray bioweed, you can have animals in there within 15 minutes eating, and it's not going to cause any problems at all. In terms of sustainability, where we source the active ingredient, the pine oil, from, we source that from Indigenous people all over the world that actually manage the pine forests themselves, and they have a sustainable way to earn money through managing those pine trees. It's hand tapped, so basically you cut the tree, you put a bucket underneath it, it takes about 3 months to get a litre. So that's how pure this stuff is, and we have a worldwide organic certification. So as I said, it's a knockdown herbicide, so it's a contact herbicide, so it's very important to remember. When there's pre-emergence coming up, you hit them again, and what that does is it kills the weeds that are coming up again, kills the seeds, and eradicates the problem long term. So when you use a synthetic weed control system, what will happen is you'll kill the weed, the seeds will drop, the weeds will come up again, you'll kill them again, and the seeds are just growing weeds behind it as you go. It's an ongoing cycle that can't be solved. So with bioweed, what we're saying is we're going to do all that, we're going to leave no residual in the soil, and we're also going to kill the seeds. And as you can see there's a control seed. There's a seed that's been hit with bioweed at 2.5% and then at 10%, and it actually does crack the seed wide open. So it's an amazing product considering it comes from nature. There's some before and after photos of bioweed. You can normally see a result within about 20 minutes of spraying, and all it takes is a good coverage. You don't have to be an expert to do it, you just have to get good coverage on the plant.
There's another weed.
There you go. So the benefits to people like councils is that it basically kills the seeds in the weed, It's labour saving because you have to have a bigger use up front, but then what will happen is you don't have to use it much at all in the end. So, look, as I said, it's not a magic bullet, but it is a very good sustainable option that works. And we've got probably over 60 councils on the east coast of Australia actually trialling this herbicide at the moment. St Kilda Gardens in Melbourne are spraying that all around their roses at the moment and are having great results. And it's something, as we said, that it's great to be a part of because it works really well and it's really good for the environment. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you.